Hey YouTube family, today I'm going to be filming a Q&A video. I just thought it would be really fun to film a get to know me type of video because I have not been the most open person on my social media, and I feel like that's something that I really want to change so I can connect with you guys more and be more than just like a person in a photo or a person singing a song that you're listening to. I really do want to connect with you guys and be more vulnerable and share more of my story. So even though you probably come to this channel to listen to singing videos or worship videos, I just thought this would be a really cool, fun, and different way to connect with you guys. So what I have done is put together a list of my most asked questions from Instagram, and then also just picked a couple of random questions that I thought would be cool to answer. And so I got cozy, I got my tea. Don't sleep on the honey vanilla chamomile, it is so good. That's a random weird fact about me. So I cannot drink caffeine, and so I'm drinking caffeine-free tea. I love tea. I added a little bit of like, I don't know if you guys can see it, it's like a creamy consistency, but I put a little bit of the unsweetened vanilla almond milk in it, and it is so good. But I want this to be like we were sitting down and having coffee, if that's your preference, or tea or whatever. So get cozy, just chill out, and let's get into the questions. Okay, so the first question is, where did you go to school and what did you go to school for? So I was the queen of transfers, and so I was at University of West Florida for a very little bit, and then I was at Manhattan School of Music, and then I got super sick and I had to take a medical leave of absence, and I finished my degree at Alabama School of the Arts. And so before I came to Christ and I felt called to be in full-time ministry and be a worship leader, I actually wanted to be an opera singer, and I wanted to pursue classical music. I loved it. I loved that it was such a challenge, and I loved the history behind it, and how opera is in like a ton of different languages, and just all of the things. So yes, my degree is in vocal performance. So if you guys ever see me, this is another thing I want to do, but just releasing videos about singing techniques or vocal health or anything like that, I'm not just spewing off information. That is actually what I got my degree in, and one of the few things that I actually have knowledge on and have a degree and credentials to back it up with. So yeah, but most of my education was from Manhattan School of Music, and that is a conservatory in New York City, and I loved it. So good question. My next question is, what is your Enneagram number? I am a 3-wing 4. I feel like the Enneagram is such a cool tool for like self-awareness. I never want to use it as an excuse and be like, oh, well, I'm a workaholic, or I do this and this and this because I am a 3. Well, I've been learning a lot about myself and like where my, I guess, like motives come from, or like if certain things are triggered, like where that comes from. So the 3, if you don't know, is the achiever. Comment your Enneagram number below. I would love to know what you guys are. And then my wing 4 is just like the very creative side of me, and like all of the feelings, which for a 3, it's constantly like this inside of me. It's like a constant battle of like yin and yang, and so, but yes, I am a 3-wing 4. Okay, question number 3. What is your Myers-Briggs? I am an ENFJ. For the longest time, I actually thought I was an ENFP. But then actually meeting a bunch of other ENFPs, I'm like, whew, I don't think so. Like my J is so strong. I'm like, I have to have my lists. I just like having things like organized and in order. And then it's weird, like I have found myself to be a little more introverted lately, which is super interesting. But yeah, I am an ENFJ. Okay, question number 4, what is your nationality? I don't know if you guys are asking me this because you are from a different country and you've never heard me speak English before, yeah, anyways, I am American. I was born in the United States of America. I don't know if you mean like my cultural background or heritage, or if that's what you mean. I am a quarter Jewish and 3/4 French. The French side is from Normandy, France and Burgundy, France. And then my mom is half Jewish, and then the rest of her is French as well, I believe. And then, so even when I got the 23andMe test, it confirmed all of that. So, and I know a lot of people are like, oh, Jewish is like just a religion, but I'm Ashkenazi Jew. So I'm not like Israeli, but yeah, anyways, it's a whole thing. My grandma has menorahs all over her house, and if you guys want to know more about that, just ask me questions down below. But yes, French and Jewish. Question number 5, what's a random thing people would not expect from you? I love music theory. To an instrumentalist, that would probably shock you because singers are like not known for loving music theory, loving like form and analysis, counterpoint, like all of that gets me so excited, you guys. Like that gets me fired up. Like if you need a theory tutor, hit me up because that is my jam. I love it. And then I feel like I only have like music stuff. Another thing is I have synesthesia. So like I see colors with, like for me, it's like different keys. So, or like different notes. So like the key of C major is like bright yellow, and then C minor is like gold, and then A major is like bright red, and then A minor is like a burgundy type of color, E is green, like, yeah. So that's pretty weird and surprising, I feel like. Okay, question number 6, where are you from? Okay, guys, this is a loaded question. I am from Florida. I say that I'm from Florida. I was born in New Hampshire, and then my parents got divorced when I was quite young, and so I was born in New Hampshire, moved to Connecticut, lived there till I was 7. Then when I was 7, I moved to Florida, and then after that, like whenever I became an adult, I was quite like nomadic. So I lived in Boston for a little bit. I lived in New York City for a little bit. I lived in Nashville for a little bit, Phoenix, Arizona, California, and then back to Florida for a little bit. And now I live in Oklahoma. Okay, question number 7, what is your job? So I work at a church. I work at Life Church. We have campuses all across the United States, and I am a worship leader. Well, I'm an associate. I'm an associate worship pastor. So I'm a pastor. I'm a worship leader. That is my job. Okay, question number 8. Oh, I love this one, guys. It says, what is your happy place? My happy place, I love being out on the boat with my family, like in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico. There's something about that. Oh, and I love like driving Vespas. I just love riding around on a Vespa, and there's just something like so freeing about those things to me. Like it just makes me feel free, and like I just love being outside, and so those are my happy places. Another thing is like a really good co-write with people that I love. I feel like being able to create something with people you love is like the most incredible thing, and then just like the vulnerability that comes from that too is just, oh, it is the best. And then of course, like just like being in the presence of God and leading worship or just worshiping, that is my happy place. Okay, question number 9, favorite holiday or holidays. I love Christmas and I love the 4th of July, which I know are like polar opposites, but those are my 2 favorites. There's just something cozy about Christmas and like the meaning of Christmas, obviously. And then 4th of July, it signifies freedom, and I just love grilling out, and I love the summer. It's probably my favorite season, and I love being out on the boat, being with people I love, just like celebrating and the magic of fireworks. One of my favorite memories from when I was a kid, I was like 4 years old, and I was in a huge field with my mom and my stepdad at the time, and I was just like spinning around in circles and like rolling down this hill and just being like, I'm free, and I don't know, I just like remember that feeling to this day, and it's always been one of my favorite holidays. Okay, question number 10, how is your health and do you take any medicine? That was really sweet and awesome of you guys to ask that. So if you guys don't know on here, which I'm sure you don't because I don't really talk about it in my YouTube video, well, I don't talk about it at all in my YouTube videos. So I have a ton of autoimmune issues, and so I have lupus, I have thyroid disease, I have Hashimoto's, I have postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. Like the list is just like on and on and on. So my health is pretty good right now. Last year, I don't know if you guys saw my Instagram, I was just like in and out of the hospital a lot, like fainting a lot. My heart rate would just get like super high up and it would not come down. I was just fainting, sweating, just awful, horrible things, and I would like sleep for 18 hours a day. So my health is a lot better, and I do take medication. I take thyroid medication, but I just switched from Synthroid to like this Nature Throid or something like that, and so it seems to be working pretty well. And then I take a bunch of supplements to just supplement all of the stuff that my body needs and try and get it back to its optimal state. And then I also am on an extremely restrictive diet. I'm dairy-free, gluten-free, I don't eat pork, I don't have caffeine, nothing artificial, no sugar. I can have maple syrup as long as it's like completely natural and like out of the tree type of maple syrup, or like I sweeten things with monk fruit sweetener. Just no stevia or anything like that though, really. Just if you guys want to know, I know that that's like very loaded, but if you guys do want to know anything else about my health journey and just like getting kind of back to normal to where I can function and all of that, I would love to make a video on that as well if that's something you guys want to hear about. But comment down below if you have any type of autoimmune disease or like chronic illness or anything like that, because that is something I would love to be able to connect with people with. I know that that is one thing that can make someone really feel alone. Like I have felt so alone in it some days because people are like, you look fine on the outside, like what? And like a lot of guilt with it too, because I couldn't work like I used to be able to, and like I couldn't be a good friend. Like I would cancel plans a lot. Sometimes I would fall asleep and like forget to even cancel. Like it was just bad. So I just, there was a lot of guilt, and there was a lot of just, hi Guys, this is my cat Wally. Isn't he so sweet? He's my little YouTube buddy. Hi. Mwah. Anyway, yeah, so I forgot where I was. I got distracted by his cuteness, but yeah, if you want to talk more about that, just DM me on Instagram. Like, I'm always open to talk about that. Okay, question number 11. What are your spiritual gifts? Guys, you know that we're like a bunch of Christians. Like, some of the questions I've gotten just crack me up because I'm like, yeah, anyways. Okay, so yeah, my spiritual gifts are, I'm actually looking through my email right now because I don't remember off the top of my head. Okay, so they are faith, discernment, exhortation, words of knowledge, and teaching. So yeah, I think like the discernment and words of knowledge and exhortation, hi, oh my gosh, sorry, and exhortation, I feel like those go together really well. I think it's so cool how God like knits each one of us together, just so different, but like perfectly to accomplish the calling that he has on our lives. And I just feel like the like words of knowledge is basically like prophecy, so having that and having like exhortation and discernment, being able to like walk into like a room and be able to discern what's in the atmosphere and then like sing over people and worship just to shift that atmosphere. And like, yeah, anyway, it's a whole thing. But yeah, those are my spiritual gifts. Okay, so question number 12. What are your strengths? If you are talking about strengths finders, which I think that's what you're talking about, mine are empathy, positivity, developer, communication, and competition. Which is so funny. Like, the competition part, I'm not super, like, on the surface, I am not competitive at all. It's very much like a hidden, deep competition. Like, and I think it goes with like the 3 thing and like the achiever, which it can go either way of being like a strength or a weakness. So I am just like seeking God on making that more of a strength instead of like a, look, like I got the best this, or I can do this the best, or whatever it may be. So yeah, that's like a vulnerable piece of my heart that I'll share with you guys that I'm working on. And then again, I think like empathy goes along with that discernment of like being able to lead people in worship and like feel what they're feeling. And it can also be a strength and then also like a weakness. Like, whenever I was more immature, I would feel these feelings and I would allow them to consume me and be like, oh, why am I in an icky mood? And like, it wouldn't even be my stuff. Like, I would just be picking up on somebody else's feelings. And so I had to learn how to walk into a room, feel those feelings, take my thoughts captive, submit them to Christ, and then be able to just either like pray for that person, move in like the warfare of worship and shift the atmosphere again, and just not allow that to overtake me. So strength and a weakness. And again, it's like the whole ENFJ thing. Like, my feeler, I have like no T. My F is like all the way. I am like total feeler. So that empathy is just like, whew, I have to not allow my feelings to control my actions or like control my decision-making process, if that makes sense. Okay, so question number 13. How many days? Guys, I can't with him. He's so cute. He's just like pawing me. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop being distracted now. Okay, so how many days a week do you work out and what kind of workouts do you do? So right now, this is not typical for me, but right now I am doing Kaale, it's Stina's, I think that's how you say her name, bikini body guide. And so like typically, this isn't all the time, but typically Monday is like legs and cardio, and it's high intensity interval training. And then Wednesdays are usually like arms and abs, which is also, all of her workouts are high intensity interval training, which I love. And so Wednesdays are arms and abs, and then Fridays are like a full body day. And then so that's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then I will run 3 miles or just do like 35 to 45 minutes of cardio or LISS, which is low intensity steady state. So I have like a gym built in at my apartment, and so I just go and like run 3 miles in there. I used to do it outside, but it's getting a little colder and my muscles don't really respond well to chilliness. So I've just been doing it inside the gym. And but normally I will go to the gym. I just haven't been or had like a membership because of COVID. And so usually I love like going swimming. I love the Stairmaster. I love working out with like weights and focusing on certain muscle groups, just doing strength training and doing cardio as well. And then I love, you guys, love the sauna and the steam room after a workout, like especially if you go swimming and you swim a bunch of laps and then you go get in the sauna. It is like the best feeling ever, and then you just get in the shower after and it's just, oh guys. So I haven't been able to do that lately because in Oklahoma I have not found a gym with like a sauna or steam room open, but that's probably good because that's probably keeping me safe and keeping other people safe. But yeah, so that is my current workout routine. If you want to hear more about it or want like a link to that workout stuff, comment down below or DM me on Instagram. Question number 14, how old were you when you knew you wanted to sing? Ha! This is funny. So I have been singing like probably since I could talk. Hold on, I'm gonna take a sip of this tea. So I've been singing probably like since I could talk, since probably before I could talk. And I think I knew that I could sing. Hi, Wally. I think I knew that I could sing before I knew like that's what I wanted to do. And I only say that because I knew I wanted to be a musician when I was 3 years old. I vividly remember it. My mom had gotten me like this little keyboard, and it had, you know how like keyboards have the built-in songs in them? So mine had Chopin's E flat major nocturne built into it, and I would play that thing over and over and over and over and over, and I just fell in love with classical music. And then my grandma, I would go over to her house for dinner and she'd be like having Beethoven's Fifth just like blasting, and I would just walk around the house like a crazy person, just like trying to like conduct the whole thing. It was hilarious. But yeah, it just like, even being that young, it just moved me, and I knew that I wanted to be a musician, and I knew I wanted to be a classical musician since I was like very, very young. But I always knew that I could sing, and I always would sing like very loudly everywhere. In church, my mom's boyfriend at the time had a studio, and I would always beg to sing on the microphone in there. So yeah, and then I started taking classical voice lessons for opera because my hands are pretty small. I can only reach like a tenth. I was not born to be a concert pianist at all. I did take piano lessons for a little while, but that was not my calling. And I love playing piano to this day. I just don't do it as much as I should probably. But I started taking classical voice lessons when I was 11 and started studying opera when I was 11, and I just fell in love with it, you guys. I fell in love with all of the different languages. I fell in love with like the historical aspect of it. And then my mom gave me the option when I was like 15. I got a violin, and I was taking violin lessons and voice lessons for a little bit, and she was like, you have to choose one or the other because we don't have enough money to pay for both. And I just stuck with voice. Like I loved it. It's just powerful, and I love the human voice is just like part of you. And I'm not trying to discount any other instrument at all. There's something different, at least for me. I don't even know if it was like I want to do this, but it was more of like an internal just like tick that wouldn't go away, like I have to do this. So I'm sorry. This cat, you guys, I've never owned a cat before. This is like hilarious. Question 15, how old were you when you got saved? I was 19 years old. I had gone to church throughout my life when I was younger, but this will probably have to be a whole nother video, but I had been so hurt from people who did go to church and had been in like some abusive situations that I just like had this whole thing in my head that like, okay, Christians are hypocrites. I want nothing to do with that. Like if this person can go and like get drunk and then, you know, be abusive or whatever, I don't want anything to do with that. And I didn't understand at the time, like, yes, all of us are broken, all of that. But anyways, so when I was 19, I was invited to church by a cute boy, and like, I did not want to go, but then I ended up going, and I ended up just like getting overcome by the Holy Spirit, and ended up giving my life to Christ. Okay, question number 16, are you single? Yes, I'm single, but I'm content in the season that I'm at, and I'll be really excited when God does bring me into that next season of being a wife. But God's timing is perfect, and I trust him, and I think it's better to wait on the right one than to settle. And one of my favorite verses to kind of like lean on whenever I'm getting like, oh God, like getting older, like where's this husband? What am I, like just all the things. But one of my favorite verses is, give me 1 second. Okay, you guys, I didn't want to get it wrong, and it's the Passion Translation that I love, and it says, it's Psalm 27:14. It says, here's what I've learned through it all. Don't give up. Don't be impatient. Be entwined as one with the Lord. Be brave and courageous, and never lose hope. Yes, keep on waiting, for he will never disappoint you. So if singleness is something that y'all would want to hear more on, or for me to make like a separate video of my whole journey with that, how to be content in your single season, comment down below and let me know. I would love to make a video on all of that. But if you girls or guys out there are single and you're waiting on the right one, God has got you. He put that desire in your heart for a reason, and keep waiting on him, keep falling more in love with him. He will not disappoint you. Okay, question number 17. Do you have any tattoos? I do not have any tattoos. I love tattoos. I think they're awesome. I don't know. I've never really wanted to get one. Like, I've been tempted a couple times to get matching ones with my sister or like my best friend, but I don't know, that's like permanent on your body for the rest of your life. So I think like maybe the only one that I would get would be like something for like a family member, or maybe like a wedding band or something. But other than that, I don't have any tattoos. I probably will never get any tattoos. but I love tattoos. So I know that sounds weird, but yeah. Question number 18, what is your most embarrassing moment? Okay, so there was one, guys, I embarrass myself on the daily, so this is like, I mean, okay, I'll pick two stories. So there's one, I was like in 7th grade and I was at like it was like a drama camp or an opera camp or something. And I was wearing a skirt that day and I went to use the bathroom and I came out of the bathroom. I was like 12 years old, you guys. And my skirt was like caught in my underwear and I had it like that for like a good 10 minutes and nobody said anything. And then finally this girl, she was so nice, she like pulled me aside and was like, hey, like your whole butt is showing. So that was like so embarrassing. And then the other one, so I, whenever I was auditioning for conservatories, I auditioned for the Curtis Institute of Music. It's in Pennsylvania. And I had learned this Handel aria, Vadoro Pupille, inside and out. Like I had sung it so many times, you guys. I knew this piece, this aria inside and out. And I got to my audition and it was like, because I had been on autopilot or something, my muscle memory failed me and I, like in the middle of the song, just like blanked. And I looked at them and I was like, thank you so much for your time, and like walked out the door. So that was awful because that was one of my dream schools. I know that I went to the school that I was supposed to go to, but that was like so embarrassing because I was so prepared and then just like failed. Those are probably top two, but I'm sure I have more that are just not coming to mind right now. Okay, question number 19. What is your biggest accomplishment? I would say, honestly, I think my biggest accomplishment is healing. I know I haven't shared like a lot of my story on this channel, or really anywhere online, but I have been through some crap, and just seeing like me from like 10 years ago till me now is just like light years of difference. And healing, like if any of you guys have gone to counseling or just like dug up old wounds, you know how tough it can be and how painful healing can be, but you don't get better without going through like the healing pain. And so I feel like, sorry if you guys can hear that in the background, there's a dog park that's like right behind my apartment, and there's a dog out there squeaking his toy. But anyway, so yeah, without like, I'm sure if you've gone through healing before, you've probably wanted to just like stop in the middle and give up and be like, this is dumb, like I just want to go back to my old coping mechanisms, like whatever. But if you just like go through it and get to the other side, there's such beautiful fruit that comes from that. And so I think that's my biggest accomplishment. Who is your celebrity crush? Colin Firth, all the way. I know he's a bit older now, but and I don't know if y'all know who he is or not. He played Mr. Darcy, like the old Mr. Darcy, the OG Mr. Darcy. That's Colin Firth. He's in The King's Speech. He plays King George. And what is it, boo-boo? What? And he's just, I just love, I'm very much attracted to people from like the UK, England, Ireland, all of that. So, and he's just like, as a person, like in interviews, he just seems like very kind and gentle and just like an overall great person. Colin Firth is super, super attractive, definitely a celebrity crush. Okay, next question. Are your parents still married? No, they are not, but they're really, really good friends, and I have really healthy relationships with both of them. I am part of a blended family. So I have 3 beautiful sisters. I don't call them stepsisters or half sisters or anything like that. Like, they're just my sisters. And then I had a brother, and he passed away in 2013, like late 2013, which is insane to think it's been like 7 years without him. If you have ever lost a sibling, you know how like weird and painful that can be. But no, my parents are not divorced, or not together, not married. My parents are divorced, and it's cool though, because now I feel like I have like extra parents and like extra grandparents even, and like extra family, and I absolutely love it. So very thankful to be part of a blended family. Is your real name Sky? It is. Thank God I was born a girl, because my parents were seriously considering naming me Ferdinand after my great-grandfather if I was a boy. So yeah, and then the way that my name came about, I'm pretty sure, I would have to double check with my parents, but my dad, like, I was born at 4 o'clock in the morning. My dad went to go get a meatball sub, and he like said the sky was the most beautiful blue that night, like just stunning. And so he came back to my mom and he was like, why don't we name her Sky? Because they were convinced I was a boy, and if I was a girl they were gonna name me Heather or something else, Nicole, I think. So yeah, I'm extremely thankful that they named me Sky. I love my name. That's my real name. Okay, and then the last question I'm gonna answer is, if you weren't a worship leader, what would you do? If I could not sing and I was not in ministry, I would probably want to, even if I did still love God, I probably want to go into surgery. Most of my family is in the healthcare field, and so the human body fascinates me. I think it would be so cool to do surgery. I'm sure it's insanely stressful and difficult, but that I've just always been drawn to that for some reason. And then if not that, I probably would have pursued opera for sure, and like gotten a doctorate and performed for a while, and then probably would have taught at a university or a conservatory as a voice teacher. So Wally, I'm gonna wrap it up there, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I also do get a lot of questions and DMs about what equipment I use to record and how I make my cover videos, and then also like singing and warm-up techniques and my testimony and other things like that. But I wanted to make separate, more in-depth videos on those. If I went into that on here, it would just be like a whole long video. If you like videos like this, please give this a thumbs up and subscribe, and let me know down below in the comments. And if you don't already follow me on Instagram, it's just @SkyDumont. I will put it in the description box down below. And if you have any other questions, you can either comment down here, or you can ask me by DMing me on Instagram. This video has been super fun to make, you guys. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen and spend time with me, and hopefully you feel like you know me better now, and I hope to get to know y'all more as well in the weeks and months to come. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys soon. Mwah! Love you guys.